All right. Good evening, everyone. This is November 10th, 2025. It is 5:01 p.m. This is the regular board meeting for the Pickerington Local School District. Mr. Walsh, can you call the roll, please?
Roll call, Mrs. Niekamp.
Here.
Mr. Lopez.
Here.
Mrs. Olszewski.
Here.
Mr. Postage.
Here.
Mr. Henson.
Yes.
Okay. Can everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a brief moment of silence?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Walsh, can you call the roll, please?
Roll call, Mr. Henson.
Yes.
Mrs. Olszewski.
Yes.
Mrs. Niekamp.
Yes.
Mr. Lopez.
Yes.
Mr. Postage.
Yes.
Okay. Next is our section on public participation. We have one speaker, and that is Joey Moore.
Thank you.
Oh, it's already on. Good evening, President Lopez, Board of Education members, Dr. Smilek, and Mr. Walsh. Most of you in this room know me, but for those of you out there in YouTube land, my name is Joey Moore, and I have the privilege of serving as the president of the Pickerington Support Staff Association. Tonight, I would like to share that next week is American Education Week, November 17th through the 21st. American Education Week honors those who help make public education great. Here's what each day recognizes. Monday is kickoff day. Tuesday is family day. Wednesday is education support professional day. Thursday is educator for a day. And Friday is substitute educators for a day. Now, I have a video queued up for you guys to look for a day without an education support professional.
Please use your imaginations for a moment. Get comfortable, relax your bodies, and open your minds. It's a cold. The bus doesn't come for them. Some walk home to report that the bus didn't show up to take them to school today. Angry parents gather their children and drive them to school. But when they arrive, the school is dark. The hallways are empty. Most of the doors are still locked. Teachers let the students into the buildings. Parents storm to the office to demand to speak to the principal. But when they walk into the office, they find the computers off, the phones ringing, and no one to greet them. The principal is wondering where to turn without the right arm that truly runs the day. Teachers bring students into classrooms that have garbage cans overflowing with waste. The floors are sticky, scuffed, and muddy. Bathroom facilities are clogged and unsanitary. Teachers with full classes are overwhelmed. The paraprofessionals are not there to assist with students that need extra help. Teachers move from student to student as they try to have a productive day. Books cannot be checked out of the library since no one knows how to use the computer system. There are books on the floors, littering the tables. The technology sessions are all canceled for the day. Morning turns to lunchtime and stomachs are growling. Certainly a hot lunch will help ease the strain of the morning. But the telltale signs of a nutritional lunch being prepared are not here today. There are no sounds of pots and pans. The kitchen is dark and cold. The food service professionals are not there. This is the last straw. The superintendent calls the day closed. Schools cannot function. The people who maintain a clean, inviting, warm environment are not in the buildings today. Now wake up from this bad dream. How frightening would it be to try to run a school without education support professionals? This story is to stress the importance of the education support professionals. With all living expenses at extreme rates, education support professionals cannot survive at poverty-level wages. These dedicated workers need a living wage that keeps up with inflation. ESPs play a vital role in children's lives. They are the first people parents and students see in the morning and the last they see in the evening. Support professionals account for more than 40% of today's public education employees, including bus drivers, custodians, secretaries, nurses, maintenance workers, mechanics, student supervisors, and more. These employees work every day to maintain quality public schools. Nearly 90% of ESPs plan to stay in education. 74% live in the school district where they work. Nearly 2/3 have lived in their community for 20 years or more. Over 40% of ESPs have school-age children. More than 3/4 volunteer their time to one or more community activities or organizations. ESPs provide the infrastructure in which teachers and administrators do their jobs. They bear a tremendous responsibility for state accountability and record keeping, as well as the safety, well-being, and education of our students. Education support professionals deserve more respect, better training, and professional development. Their wages should reflect their importance, responsibility, and the devotion they put into our education community every day.
The importance of education support professionals in our public schools today. Now, this video is a little old. It's about 10, 15 years old, so it's a little different than what today's stats are. So, nationwide, right now, there are 2.2 million education support professionals working in K through 12 schools. 43% of them work with our youngest learners in grades K through 4. Almost half are paraeducators. 81% are women, and 84 of them work full-time. ESP's greatest satisfaction comes from the personal fulfillment of working directly with students. In fact, ESPs support special education students while studies show that 80% of ESPs play a role in school safety, but everybody in this room knows it's really 100% of us. Okay, here's a fun fact. Did you know that 80% of ESPs spend up to $300 a year of their own money to help students with food, supplies, and other basic needs? ESPs are also deeply connected to our community. Nationally now, in the video, I think it was 72%, but now it's 67% live where they work. But here in Pickerington, we're a little special. It's closer to 90%. Many of us, myself included, have children who attend or have attended Pickerington schools. So we don't just work here, this is our home. While American Education Week celebrates the work of ESPs, it's also important to talk about what ESPs deserve. Better wages and benefits. Did you know that PSSA employees are the only group in our district without religious leave? The average salary of a PSSA member is between $30,000 and $35,000 a year, yet the living wage in Fairfield County for one adult is $46,654, and if you have a child, it goes up to $77,105. And that's according to the MIT Living Wage Calculator based on 2,080 hours a year. Quality professional development is another challenge nationally. But I have to say, here in Pickerington, we are addressing that through the Education Support Professional Development Committee, ESPDC, which was created during our last negotiation and is in our collective bargaining agreement. This committee will ensure that ESPs have access to meaningful training that helps us grow and to better serve our students. Sufficient staffing. Our members have raised concerns about staffing levels. We need more help in our classrooms, clinics, offices, and all throughout our buildings. As student enrollment increases, so do our responsibilities. Up to 70% of our members have reported being asked to perform duties outside of their normal job descriptions. We're always willing to help, but we also need to ensure that our workload is fair and sustainable. Respect and inclusion. Nationally, only 33% of education support professionals say they are very satisfied with the respect they receive in their school districts. I have surveyed our members this year, and only one has expressed that this is not a concern of theirs, either within their building, a department, or as a district. Too often, we are treated as an afterthought, but our schools simply could not function without us, as you saw in the video. From the first smile that greets a student in the morning to the last bus ride home, ESPs are there every day, every step of the way. We are proud to serve, support, and be part of this community. As we celebrate American Education Week and National Education Support Professional Day, I hope you all take the time to truly recognize the essential role ESPs play in making Pickerington Local School Districts a place where our students thrive. If anybody in this room and out there in YouTube land would like to get to know more about us, about what we love about our jobs, why we show up every day, we do have some social media pages out there. We are highlighting our members, and there's some special treats coming up soon about some of the amazing things our ESPs here in Pickerington are doing. Thank you guys for your time.
Okay, that brings us to our treasurer's report. Mr. Walsh, I'm going to turn that over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. Item number 1 on the treasurer's report this evening is the October 13, 2025 regular board meeting minutes.
Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I was not at this meeting.
Okay.
And I almost didn't come back.
Darn
Mr.
the
Walsh,
bad
can you
luck.
call the roll, please?
Roll call.
You'll correct that? Like not now, but going forward.
So in the minutes, it has you
Yeah.
present?
It also says, I mean, the motion is correct, but over on our agenda, it also, at least what I'm looking at, it says the 13th and the 17th.
Yeah, that's because they skipped it.
We had a request to split the two.
Okay, because maybe I need to refresh. I'm not even seeing the 27th now. Because I was not there on the 27th and almost did not come back from the beach as well.
I know, right?
Okay, sorry, I refreshed now. I can see them separate.
Yeah. You know, the 27th minutes are correct. Somebody who was doing the minutes that night did a hell of a job. I'm just saying.
Want to thank Chaz for that.
You looking for thanks over there, Callie?
I almost fired myself.
Going on with roll call, if that's okay.
Yes, sir.
Roll call, Mr. Henson,
Yes.
Mr. Postage,
Yes.
Mrs. Niekamp,
Yes,
Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Abstain.
Mrs. Olszewski.
I'll just like jump in here.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to item number 2, that's the minutes from the October 27th, 2025 regular board meeting.
Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Walsh, can you call the roll, please?
Roll call, Mr. Postage,
Yes.
Mr. Henson,
Yes.
Mrs. Niekamp,
abstain?
Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Mrs. Olszewski.
Yes.
Okay, now we have those out of the way. We'll move on to the financial report, item number 3. Cash flow for October was pretty much a push. It's negative by $141,000. Finished with a little over $35 million of cash in general fund. Got our quarterly income tax in October was $5.72 million. That pushes the fiscal year to date at $15.6 million for income tax, or 55% of what we have in our estimate. So that seems to be tracking the way we want it. I think it's about 4.8% more than the previous year, and I think the forecast had 4.6. So we're heading in the right direction. Fiscal year to date, cash flow was still positive due to the tax receipts that we received in July and August. And those tax receipts will carry us through the end of the calendar year in 2025. All funds, 113 million. It's up about 4 million from July. General fund is positive. Bond retirement is pushing it to the positive side in the PI levy. Your construction dollars are what are bringing that closer to break even. We spent just under $15 million out of the construction fund for the various projects. Days cash, we continue to track that on a monthly basis. It dropped to $77 or 77 days from the 78 in September. So we'll continue to show that. The graph at the bottom has what was approved in the forecast in October. There are a couple House bills in the legislature that we have our eye on. One is House Bill 186. It has to do with the 20 mil floor, which we will hit in tax year 2025. There is an effort to continue the reduction of property taxes for property owners in school districts, and they will reduce how much we collect based on a federal GDP deflator. The bill is currently in the House. It's passed there. It'd have to go to the Senate, but early estimates on what that would do for us and PLSD is $1.4 million of lower tax collections in the next 3 years. There's a provision to
Wait a minute. Collectively, like $1 million over 3 years, or $1 million
Each year.
every year?
each year. There's also a provision to make this an emergency so it becomes effective immediately. I still don't know that they would get the tax bills out in time to have it come to the tax bills that will go out in 2026. The other piece is House Bill 335. That has to do with inside millage. As you know, on the inside millage, that was never voted. We have 4.5 mills in Pickerington, 3.5 is general fund, 1 is the PI that we use to pay for our cops that we borrowed for construction. Don't have any solid numbers on this, but just doing a prorated look compared to what the effective millage is and how much the reduction would be at 1.4, then we prorated it and estimated it to be in the $300,000 range. My understanding is it would be the entire 4.5 mil inside millage. So that would reduce the money that goes into the PI. Then we would have to move money from general fund if that PI fund is not large enough to cover that annual debt service payment. So
they're looking at eliminating all 4.5 mils?
no, they're looking to put a guardrail on how much growth you can have, similar to what they're doing at the 20 mil floor. So there would be a limited amount of growth on the PI on the inside millage.
So, just for fun, do our legislative friends downtown have a solution to the reduction in funding for, say, public school districts by these two bills?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Great.
What's interesting is if you read any of the results from the activity at the election day on as far as levies go, I think over 70% of those levies, regardless of who was asking, passed. So communities still want to support. That's where the local control is. So why legislators want to do this, I'm not sure. My opinion is you reduce us by, we'll say, $1.7 million a year. That's just sooner we're back at the ballot, and that's more dollars we're asking for.
100%.
So yes, the public will have their say-so, but when these were voted in initially, the public had say-so.
Yep.
So we'll continue to monitor that. Page 3 of the financial report has updated staffing and student numbers. That'll be a static number going forward. We do not update those each month, but you can see the comparative to previous years listed there. That's kind of all I wanted to highlight on the financial report.
Is there a
Happy to
motion?
take any questions, I'm sorry. Yep.
Oh, is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Mr. Walsh, can you call the roll, please?
Roll call, Mr. Henson,
Yes.
Mrs. Olszewski,
Yes.
Mrs. Niekamp,
Yes.
Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Mr. Postage.
Yes.
Item number 4 is the then and now certificate. This stems from changing of personnel in the technology department, kind of slipped through the cracks there. So we don't anticipate this happening again. It was death of Mr. Doss and emails being sent to his email account, and then they would bounce back and they wouldn't reach back out to us. So that's the rationale behind this one's coming up on almost a year.
Andy?
Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Walsh, can you call the roll, please?
Roll call, Mrs. Olszewski,
Yes.
Mr. Henson,
Yes.
Mrs. Niekamp,
Yes.
Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Mr. Postage.
Yes.
The next item on the agenda is a quick presentation related to 5-year forecast that the board approved in October 13th. There was a request to analyze a couple of levy options to see how that would impact us financially. So we put that together for you this evening. Slide on the screen now kind of lays out what those were. It was a 2.8 mil property tax levy. We're going to assume that it passes in tax year 2026, calendar year 26, which would be tax year 26, and that would keep us solvent through 29. And the second one is a 4 mil property tax. Again, passes in 2026 based on 26 property values to keep us solvent through fiscal year 32. The table on the screen, just wanted to back up and talk about effective mills. This graph shows, it's just representing Class 1. Class 1 is residential and agricultural property, and it makes up 90% of our value in the district. So we anticipate in 26 to be at $2.73 billion of property taxes. So the $2.47 billion is the effective mills. So you can see the Class 2 and the public utility make up the difference for PLSD today. This is the effective millage and voted millage from the October forecast. 71.2 mils is what is currently has been approved by voters over time. It's a cumulative number, and the effective Class 1 effective rate is the second line. So if we look at 2025, we've talked about being below or hitting the 20 mil floor. What we did is we stripped out so there is no floor to give you the impact of how far below the 20 mil floor our property values are taking us. So for tax year 2025, we estimate the effective millage to be 18.07 mils or 1.93 mils below the 20 mil floor. So that gap or that margin is going to create tax revenue if the district stays at the 20 mil floor. 2025 was a reappraisal year, and then in 2028 you see another significant drop that's due to the update in 2028 every 3 years. We didn't go conservative on those updates. We kind of followed what historical trends have done over the last probably two updates or reappraisals. 2028's got another just under 14% increase in value. The in-between years have new construction of anywhere from $50 to $60 million between the increased values in the new construction. So that's why we continue to grow. Again, didn't flatline it. That doesn't make sense to flatline it. We know there's construction. We see it every day. So this just kind of brings you, gets you to the bottom of what where the basis is that we're going. The next slide Again, a little repeat of what was on the previous slide as far as the October forecast. That's the top of the chart. You see the 71.2 again, but then the effective millage you see at 20 because the state law says we don't go below 20 mils on the effective rate. The middle group of information, that's the 2.8 mil levy. In 26, you see it jumps up to 74 mils, voted from 71.2. The effective millage is the one below it. So you see out of the box with the 26 value increase, we really lose, what is that, 0.6%, or 0.6 of a mil because of that first year. And then we continue to drop. You get out to 28 and you see another large drop in the effective millage rate because of that that update in 2028. Moved down to the bottom of the chart, you see the 4 mil levy. In 26, it goes to 75.2, and then you see the corresponding effective rates as you go along. Same concept, as property values increase, the effective millage drops. So essentially that first dollar that is collected based on that voted millage, in theory, will not increase over time. This next slide, this is from the October forecast, so you should be familiar with you. This is the cash on hand that was presented in October. Our problems comes to the forefront in FY 28, where we have -7 days of cash. And then in 30, we're at -77. So that's just a refresher of what we saw before. So this is putting in the 2.8 mil levy. It's improved a little bit. Instead of 28 being out of money, now it shows this 29 is 15 days compared to October. 29 was a -44 days. And in 30, the trend continues. We're at -46 days, where in October it's -77. So the additional revenue is it's showing. We see what's happening. The next slide is the 4 mil levy based on everything that was in October other than putting a 4 mil levy on the ballot. So we get out to 29 and we're essentially out of cash. In 29, we're at 0. And then 30 goes to -25. Again, the reference from October is -77. So what's really driving is the fact that we're going to push above the 20 mil floor. So you're losing that marginal tax growth that's below the 20 mil floor. Yes.
It's
Can you remind us what you built into the forecast in October for staffing? In other words, is that 2.8 and that 4? Is that with the 0 increase in staff?
No, the October forecast had 26 staff members in 26, 27, 28, and 29.
Press pause numbers.
Correct. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks. Any questions?
I appreciate the exercise, but the reality is, we have policy that states that we have to identify additional revenue sources if our cash, what the hell is that phrase?
Cash on hand.
There you go. Drops below 45 days. And all three of these scenarios, including the October forecast and the addition of 2 and or 4, 2.8 and or 4.0 mils, it did cut it, right?
Correct. The October forecast did not have a levy in it, and that was intentional.
Right, but,
We knew we weren't going on the ballot,
right,
so.
but the scenario of the 2.8 mil or the scenario of the 4.0 mil also don't provide 45
That's
days.
correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, so.
Moving on.
And one more clarifying, I just want to make sure I understood what you and Charlie were talking about, because I was sitting here listening to it, and if, I should have gotten it. This is 26 additional staff members. It's the press pause number.
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
Okay, good questions. We're moving on to item number 6. This kind of goes in hand with the forecast that we just talked about. Received a letter from the Ohio Department of Education that we have a notification of potential deficit and plan requirements. So we've talked about this. I think I mentioned that we'll submit our forecast and ODE will come pay us a visit. So they paid us a visit last week. What's interesting about this letter is, if you remember in 22, we had to come up with a corrective action plan. The letter that we received said the corrective action plan is not necessary at this time due to the quick turnaround of a February forecast in 2026. But then it also goes on to say that if you have any negative amount in 2028 from a cash balance perspective on line 12.01, then we have to present a plan to fix our problem. So that's $5.5 million, almost 5.6. Charlie and I have had discussions about this. I don't know that there's something in there that's a magic bullet to eliminate that negative in 2028. The October forecast, there are additional staffing that we've added in 2026 subsequent the submission of the forecast. So it's not going to get any better from that perspective. We've tried to hone the revenue resources and estimates, to the best of our knowledge and what we think it's going to be. Same way on the expense side. The only thing that would influence the expense side is having to get substitute staffing. If everybody came to work every day, then we wouldn't spend money on substitutes. Is that realistic? No, that's not realistic. So we do the best we can. Could we artificially remove enough money to get us positive in 28? We could. I don't know that truly makes sense. I would anticipate more discussion going further on a levy in May. So I don't know what ODE will do if we don't put a plan together based on the February 26 forecast. Because again, we're March, April, and then we're at an election or a levy.
Are you saying we do not have to respond to their?
Tells us we have to have one from February, right?
We do not have to respond today with a corrective action plan. If when we get to February, if the February forecast has a negative 12.010 in fiscal year 28, then we're required to submit a corrective action plan.
Can I help you write that?
Sure. If we had a renewal levy, that's acceptable, but we do not. Any other levies you can only count them when they're successful. So we will continue to monitor that situation and keep you updated. If no other questions, we'll move on to item number 7, which is donation. We have several donations to various groups in the district. Those dollars came in October, so we thank them for those donations.
Is there a motion and a second on the donations?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Walsh, can you call the roll, please?
Roll call, Mr. Henson.
Yes.
Mr. Postage.
Yes.
Mrs. Niekamp.
Yes.
Mr. Lopez.
Yes.
Mrs. Olszewski.
Yes.
Next, we have the consent agenda. Dr. Smilek, I'll turn that over to you.
Raring to go, sir. Item number 1, administrative personnel. We have one substitute administrator, and we thank that gentleman for his willingness to serve. Item number 2, certified and licensed personnel. And we have one resignation. Congratulations on that retirement. We have some substitute teachers that we want to add. This is licensure expansion, non-bachelor substitute license. We thank these folks for being willing to come help us out in a time of need. We then have some traditional substitute teachers that we also ask for approval for. We have a substitute nurse. We have some stage managers. We have one at Pickerington North. Thank you to that gentleman. We move to support personnel, where we have one resignation. as a duty aide. We have some contract adjustments, one of them actually, and that person is adjusting their position. We have several support personnel recommendations. To be specific, we have 4 of them. These are replacements, all healthcare assistant, a cook, a duty aide, actually 2 duty aides. We then have substitute support service recommendations for this school year. And we have 2 custodians there. Congratulations to those folks. Then item number 4, personnel supplemental contracts and stipends. As we recall, these are deemed automatically non-renewed at the end of this school year. Supplemental contract adjustment first. This is for the bowling coach at Pick Central. Supplemental contract and stipend recommendations, a series of these as we have winter sports beginning as we speak. We then have some stipends as well. These are for musical arrangements, winter athletic event supervisors, and a piano accompanist. Volunteer coaches and advisors, thank you so much for these folks who are willing to spend an inordinate amount of time with our students. It's very selfless of them, so we thank them and ask for your approval. We have a building club volunteer. Several clubs listed there. Several ticket sellers and tournament workers, actually. And then we have item number 5, which is actually approval of this agenda.
Thanks, sir. Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Walsh, can you call the roll, please?
Roll call, Mr. Henson.
Yes.
Mr. Postage.
Yes.
Mrs. Niekamp.
Yes.
Mr. Lopez.
Yes.
Mrs. Olszewski.
Yes.
Okay, next we have our discussion action items. The first item is for a school district compensation agreement between Fairfield County and the Board of Education of the Canal Winchester Local School District, the Board of Education of the Pickerington Local School District, and the Board of Education of the Eastland Fairfield Career and Technical School. Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I would like to
Mr.
add,
Walsh,
if I
you-
may, yeah,
go
this
ahead.
is through the Fairfield County. On the very last page of the information, you have a list of parcels. The ones on the far right-hand side that begin with 036, those are the ones that reside in Pickerington local schools. The others are in Canal. Looking at this as a non-school TIF, which means we will be held harmless for these values. Looking at the 2024 tax paid in 25, those 5 parcels on the right total just under $100,000 of property tax. That's everything. If you assume we collect 60% of that, so you're looking at about $60,000 for that piece. But originally, I thought this was part of the DHL area. It's not. This is a separate TIF that is through the Fairfield County and does not involve Violet Township.
So in the little map, that's 33, right?
Yes.
So where are what is this property between, do you know? And is it someplace or?
When you say this property,
Like between what road, 33 is to the south, but what's bordering it on the east? I'm just trying to envision where it is. I guess probably down there by,
yeah, is that Basil? Is that the road that's running left to right?
yeah.
I would
maybe.
imagine.
Yeah, probably.
The parcels that are in our school district are on the far right-hand side.
Oh, okay.
The one that's about 4 squares over that has a lot of stuff in it, we'll say, that's the one that's $68,000 in taxes. So there's something there now. But the majority of these are in Canal Winchester.
Right, okay.
Any additional discussion? Mr. Walsh, can you call the roll, please?
Roll call, Mr. Henson.
Yes.
Mr. Postage.
Yes.
Mrs. Niekamp. Mr. Lopez.
Yes.
Mrs. Olszewski.
Yes.
Okay, item number 2 is a motion to approve the girls wrestling resolution. Is there a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? And just so everyone's aware, this is to approve girls wrestling for grades 9 through 12 as a sanctioned athletic program at Central and North High School. Mr. Walsh, can you call the roll, please?
Roll call, Mr. Henson.
Yes.
Mr. Postage.
Yes.
Mrs. Niekamp. Mr. Lopez.
Yes.
Mrs. Olszewski.
Yes.
Okay, and third is a motion to approve the transportation improvement project with the city of Pickerington. Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
And this is for the ripping up and redoing of East Street in front of this building
That's correct. So, good evening, Board.
while school is still in session.
Yeah,
Okay.
that begins in April. Would you like me to give you a summary?
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
Right after I finish rolling my eyes.
So similar to East Borland Street, this whole area has been identified as an improvement area for the city. It's going to look a lot like East Borland with new curbs, new sidewalks, new roadway. There's going to be a sidewalk connection from Center Street down to 256. This is a city project, 100% funded by the city or a grant that the city may have secured. We're just approving tonight to use our land as a temporary easement during that time. So yes, there'll be some growing pains come April.
We anticipate parking at Ridgeview.
Well, I mean,
Yep.
the new junior high
100%.
will be open by then, so we can use.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Pretty easy then.
Yeah. Coming and going.
Do we have a motion and a second?
Yes.
We do. Any other discussion? Mr. Walsh, can you call the roll, please?
Roll call, Mr. Henson.
Yes.
Mr. Postage.
Yes.
Mrs. Niekamp.
Yes.
Mr. Lopez.
Yes.
Mrs. Olszewski.
Yes.
Okay, next is discussion only. There are two policies and one administrative guideline for review. Does anybody have any comments or questions about those?
So I have a comment on this, specifically 5136, personal communication devices. We used the district download, our monthly mailing to parents to highlight the change, and it's a significant change for our high school students specifically. We have done a great job of, for the most part, abolishing cell phones in classrooms, but the governor has passed a law that, and it was he championed it, and he was a big proponent for it. Cell phones are now to be put away, locked up, however you want to conceal them, but from first bell to last bell, which is a significant change for our high school students. They have had the ability to check texts and access apps during hall change time or during the cafeteria time, and that is no longer acceptable. So there was a phase-in process. They passed this over the summer. They gave us some time to implement it, but by January, we have to be no cell phones at all during the school day. So I know our high school staffs are really excited about this change and how they may enforce it. But we follow the law here in Pickerington. And
Well, we try to follow the law.
well, we are going to do everything we can to follow the law. It is important that we don't send mixed messages, and this is the law, and we will comply with it. And our high school staffs are prepared to do so.
Did we get additional funding for this?
It is important that we don't send mixed messages.
Did we get additional staff for this?
Once
And
again,
will our staff have to comply with the law as well?
I think that our expectations for students, as we've seen in some other instances, when we set a tone and when we have high expectations and we don't deviate from those, our students respond to the image that we promote. And we will, from that first day that we return in January, be very clear that cell phones no longer have a place in our high schools from first bell to last bell.
Thank you, sir. Any other discussion, questions, comments about those? All right. Next, we are going to continue to go with Dr. Smilek and his financial update.
Thank you, sir. Just actually wanted to take this time to reiterate and maybe highlight some of the things that Mr. Walsh said, specifically with the letter that we required from the state or letter that we received from the state. And I just want to read a few of the highlighted portions so that folks can understand that, this is no longer a local decision at this point. We have reached a point where the state is intervening. Now, this intervention may not be as onerous as some that could come afterward, but it is indeed a state intervention, and it is indeed a state requirement that we will have to meet. So the first piece that I want to highlight is your district's first required fiscal year 2026 financial forecast submission projects a deficit of $5.592 million. Ish, 85 at the end there. For fiscal year 28, which is 3.2% of the district's total projected revenue. So that fact that we project a deficit, which is 3.2% of our entire projected revenue, requires us then to take, in my opinion, a very onerous action, because every time you put down a projected cut, every person who holds that position in our school district has angst, has anxiety, wonders if that's them, wonders where they fall on the seniority list, starts to look around at potentially places that don't have this onerous step that we have to take. And so the second piece I want to read is, if the fiscal year 28 deficit is still projected in the February forecast, and as Mr. Walsh explained, there's no reason to say that won't be. Sure, we could fudge $3 million, but just as we just said, we comply with laws. We also don't fudge 5-year forecasts to get away from negative connotations. And this is certainly a negative connotation here. Regardless of the amount, a written plan will be required within 45 days of submission. So if you think about when we do the February forecast, first week in February, second week in February. So essentially by April 1st, we have to have a list of positions that we will cut. That's the step that this mandates. And we want to make sure that our community understands that this is no longer local control. This is response to a state mandate. It's not a campaign tactic. It's not a scare tactic. It's not something we thought about overnight to say, how can we motivate people to think we need more money? This is the state of Ohio saying this is exactly what you have to do. That's the point that we are now at. And so we will work through processes and we will work through discussions, and we'll do those in public as well to make sure that we can educate our community and come to a plan that can get onto a ballot to hopefully avoid what we will have already had to list as potential cuts. That'll be our goal. And quite frankly, I don't know that needs to be a very important second one. It's a critical element of what our central office and what our Board of Education will work through in the coming months. And so the last piece of that is, if we don't, more intensive support will be provided to ensure the district has actionable plans in place to resolve the projected deficit before it becomes a current fiscal year deficit. So if we don't comply, they will continue to increase their level of involvement in our district. It's in black and white. It's in public record. These are the steps we now have to take. It won't be a campaign tactic. It won't be some type of woke liberal approach to education. It'll be about balancing a budget, black and white numbers that the state requires. And we look forward to engaging in that process over the next 3 months. Thank you.
So who's the they? Like, who will the state send?
Governor DeWine and Coach Tressel. Which I'm hoping for a photo op. I don't know, John. We have auditors that
Who
come and
hired
do.
him?
Yeah, they put a commission together.
But who's on the commission?
Kathy, I don't know who's on the
Like,
commission. I have no
their
idea.
buddies who got like a business degree from OSU 3 years ago? I'm just gonna have to keep my mouth shut.
Is that possible?
No.
Let's move on and not worry about the impending committee. And who's on it? Maybe. Next, we have public comments and questions about anything that was on the agenda this evening. Any board member comments or questions about anything that was on the agenda this evening? Hearing none, we will entertain a motion to enter into executive session per revised code section 121.22G1, the employment or compensation of a public employee.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Walsh, can you call the roll, please?
Roll call, Mrs. Olszewski,
Yes.
Mr. Henson,
Yes.
Mrs. Niekamp, Mr. Lopez.
Yes.
Mr. Postage.
Yes.
All right, thank you, everyone. I do not anticipate, we will come back into open session. However, I do not anticipate any further business being conducted.